Hey guys, Santiago Reviews and Repairs is back after a long hiatus away from the channel. Here today, I'm no longer in Victoria, I'm actually in Halifax, Nova Scotia at Steele Subaru today. As you may have guessed due to my location, what today's video is going to be about, it's a car review. And the specific car we're going to be reviewing today, which has a lot of controversy behind it, is the 2024 Subaru Solterra. It's that cross-platform between Toyota and Subaru that they're working together to make that electric car. Although Toyota has had some pretty good numbers with the sister car to this vehicle from Subaru is the bZ4X from Toyota. Now, it's produced by, the main vehicle is produced by Toyota, and the only difference between the two of them really is that Subaru's has their symmetrical all-wheel drive. So the way they market it is as an off-roader, which isn't the most common thing for EVs, especially if it's not a truck. That might be part of the controversy that had to do with it, with their marketing and how they went about it. But overall, let's not just take it word of mouth. Let's actually take a look to see how good this 2024 Subaru Solterra is here at Steele Subaru in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Now, the specific 2024 Subaru Solterra here at Steele Subaru that I have in front of me is the luxury package. This one comes in at just about $63,900 Canadian before taxes. And after incentives, only really about $55,000, because it's $8,000 off here in Nova Scotia, but with their extra $2,000 that they have on incentive on this, that brings that price down to just $53,000. Now, as you guys see behind me, and like you might have seen in the past few clips, this right here is the 2024 Subaru Solterra. And honestly, I don't think it's a bad looking car. I like the way that it just looks from a little bit of a distance. Honestly, it has a lot of character. I personally think it's nice. Now, as I said before, this car had a lot of controversy around it and hasn't sold all that well. Which is why, at the moment, Subaru and Subaru Canada and the dealerships are actually marking them down. So right now, it's a total of up to $10,000 off if you're eligible for all the incentives. For example, here in Nova Scotia, your incentive is $8,000. So here is one of the specific things I actually like about the all-new 2024 Subaru Solterra, is that every single one of them, compared to its sister car, the bZ4X, all of the trims come with the symmetrical all-wheel drive from Subaru, not from Toyota, and they all come with the same battery, giving you 359 kilometers of range. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but you don't give this car enough credit for its all-wheel drive system from Subaru. Toyota has the same battery, and sure, they have longer range, but that's only because they have the longer ranges on the rear-wheel drive versions of this car, which all the all-wheel drive versions of the bZ4X over at Toyota have the exact same range. Now, one of the biggest differences between the bZ4X and the Subaru Solterra is the fact that they tried to make it more rugged, more off-roady. So the main thing they did for those is add all these plastic fender flares that you can see that go all around the car, around the wheel well, across the side bottom here, across all the wheel wells, across the back. The bumper's all plastic, but there is a good reason for this, because with mentality, those pieces could all get broken, chipped, scratched, and the nice part about it is that it's all very cheap if it needs to be replaced. All these plastic panels can all come off. You can just remove them on your own. And it's plastic, it's not expensive to replace. The only thing that might be the main cost if it's damaged would be the sensor. But if you take this to a Subaru dealer, like Steele Subaru here, they can take that out, if it's not damaged, and replace the panel at basically not a lot of expense. The panel is plastic, it's not expensive. Now, with the luxury package on this 2024 Subaru Solterra, you have these 235s by 50R Turanza Bridgestone tires. Now, these are not off-road tires, they're more sporty, more kind of fuel efficiency orientated, which doesn't have fuel, it's electric, but you know what I mean. The rims it has are very nice though. It's multiple different materials on it as well. So they have these little plastic covers on here on the rims for aerodynamicy and cooling, but those can look like they can be removed. Now it is a 5-spoke tire, and the actual material on this looks like it's anodized aluminum. So with all of these things put together, I really don't understand what all the hate is behind this car. It looks like an amazing car. It's an electric car. Sure, it doesn't have the most range of every electric car, but that's not necessarily the demographic it's trying to chase. It's trying to chase camping, people who go camping, off-roaders. It has the capability to do that compared to any other electric car, not including the trucks, which the trucks you can't even include really, because those are $80,000 and above for any electric truck. So something very cool I actually just noticed on this Solterra is a lot of companies are doing these things with fake vents, but look at this. There's an actual functional aerodynamic vent here. It's not fake, but it actually works, and it sends air through this hole over into the front tires to cool the brakes. How cool is that? Another interesting design quirk I've found on this car is the back lip / spoiler. I don't know why they decided to do it with this kind of like tunnel in the middle of these two air splits, but it seems like it works to redirect air down through the middle and off the top for almost downforce, but I don't understand why. Now, another cool thing you notice about the Subaru Solterra compared to other vehicles that are supposedly off-roady is that it actually comes a full skid plate for the battery. Even though the battery already has its undercover protection, it comes with a full underbody skid plate, including the front. Now, if you're looking for a good deal on the all-new Subaru Solterra as well, there is also here at Steele Subaru a 2023 Solterra, which has the exact same specifications as the 2024, but it's $15,000 off. That means that from the government rebates here in Nova Scotia, they are giving you a total of $8,000, and then the dealership is giving you $7,000 extra discount on top of that. Now, do keep in mind, it is a demo, but that means it probably has still low kilometers. It is a brand new car, which means if you bought it, you would be the first owner with $15,000 off. And in this case, you would get it in this beautiful red. Subaru calls it their Elemental Red, which is a beautiful red contrast color. And on top of that, it's also two-tone. So you have the red in the bottom, and then from the bottom piece here, from the center, going up, it's all a nice black color, including the roof. Now, here in the showroom of Steele Subaru in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in the show floor, they actually have a base model to see as well. Now, with the base model, you get the exact same size tires, just you get different rims. The rims you get in the base model are completely covered with this plastic cover, which I assume is for aerodynamics. And on the interior of this base model 2024 Subaru Solterra, you get cloth seats, and you actually get cloth upholstering as well on the dash, which I find a very interesting touch, and I like a lot more than some companies who instead like to put gloss black or some kind of really cheap plasticky feel. Now, on the door, you just get regular plastic, but here you have this very nice soft touch cloth again. Subaru is doing very well for their base models, where most companies for their base models make this a really uncomfortable plastic. The only gripe I have about this door is the gloss black. I don't like it. It just gets too many fingerprints, but it is a very small amount of gloss black that I see in this car versus other cars that are just like filled with gloss black to the brim. Now, coming back here to the back doors, essentially all the same. Has the nice padding here. Plastic, gloss black, again for some reason. Now, coming over to the passenger side is something that I actually liked. So, a lot of cars only have one area where you can lock the car from with a button. This car has it in multiple places, in the side door, which is the driver door, and the passenger door. They have the thing to lock the car. Nice feature. Now, on all the seats in the base model Subaru Solterra, it's all manual seat adjustments, where this one is the one you use to put the seat up, put the seat down, and I love this lever. Some companies like to use the weird wheel thing, which you end up adjusting forever and your hand starts hurting. I like these levers that you can do because it's just quick and easy. Over here, you have the one to recline, forward and back. Now, coming here into the 2024 Subaru Solterra is actually a decent amount of space and an interior that looks nice, even for the base model. Now, the center console here is gloss black. As you can see, there is fingerprints all over the place already, which not much you can do about it since it is a base model, but it still looks good if it's cleaned, which obviously if it's your car, you're driving it, you can look past it day to day, it's fine. Now under here you do have a wireless phone charging area that I like because you can close it, have your phone in there, and right here you have a USB to charge it at the same time if you'd like to charge it faster. You get two cup holders here. This thing here, you can open this, and here you have a little bit of space with a bucket with even more space underneath. And interestingly enough, it slides, and then it's all closed up for a nice armrest for you there. Down here, as you can see, you get two USB-A's and a 12-volt cigarette connector, which is just what I call it, so... Now, in the back, behind the driver's seat, I'm 5 foot and 11 inches, almost 6 feet tall, so do take that into account. I have, call it 4 inches of headroom in this car, where I'm sitting up comfortably and straight. I have a decent amount of legroom, give it 3 inches between my knees and the chair, and that's with the seating arrangement how I like to sit, which is usually a lot more laid back than normal. Now in the back seats here, you do get two cup holders and what looks to be phone holder, which I actually really appreciate, two USB-Cs, a little bit of climate control back here with a little knob to control how much air comes out, and one roof light, dome light here at the top. Now it's time for the usability part of the video. Here we have the key to the 2024 Subaru Solterra. Now, it's just a basic looking key for all the Subarus, but it does have a good amount of features. So here you have the hold button, which uses the horn. You have the lock button to lock your car, unlock button to unlock your car. You have the hold button for your AC. Since it is an electric car, if it's a hot day and you have your car in a nearish proximity, you can hit this, hold it, and it'll max AC in the car and cool it down. And if you want to turn it off, you just do the same thing again. Just like that. Now, if you want to open the trunk, you hold the open trunk button. Should open up slowly there. It is a very, very large trunk that is opening. Back here you have a decent amount of space, and I will input in a picture here how much cargo capacity you really have. And coming back into the look here, it looks like you have some little doors here for paneling and something behind there. Coming here underneath, looks to have some storage and no spare tire, but a little bit of good storage there. It looks like you have a tire inflator kit, so that's all good. Over here you get obviously Harman Kardon audio in this one. I'm very excited to try this one out since Harman Kardon is known for their good audio in almost all of their cars. Now, coming here to the top, you have two buttons to choose from. You have the one to just close it, or the one to close the hatch, and also lock it. So I like this having in cars because it saves you the time from having to grab the key out of your pocket, lock the car, instead of having just one button you click. And something else interesting you'll actually find back here is there is two cameras on the back of the Solterra. You'll find out why in a minute. This one here is the technology package. Now, coming here into the area where usually most electric cars have a frunk, there is no frunk to be seen here in the Subaru Solterra, as it is all taken up by electrical components and the front motor for the all-wheel drive system by Subaru, which is fully symmetrical. Now it's time for the test drive of the 2024 Subaru Solterra. Let's turn it on and see what the system looks like when you turn on the new Solterra. So usual Subaru sounds, it looks like the AC turns on automatically. Getting started in here, let's talk about the infotainment system. This is a massive 12.3-inch display from Subaru that they are putting in this car. Now, it's not technically built by Subaru. This is a Toyota-based car, so you get the Toyota infotainment OS system, and it's actually very good and responsive. It doesn't slow, it's instant reaction, you have built-in maps to look at everything, it's all controlled, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It is a very good system. Coming here into the middle, something I absolutely love Toyota and Subaru for doing is they didn't put everything into the screen. Now, it's not physical buttons, and it is gloss black, but at the very least you have the options that it's not in the screen only. You get your cooled seats, up to 3 levels there that you can control, heated seats, you got a heated steering wheel, eco auto off, you get your front defroster, your 2 rear defrosters, you have your temperature control here, your air control, which way, if you want it to be at your feet and your front windshield, your face, or your feet and your face. You have your temperature controls, which you can actually make them sync with just this button, and then you only need to click one. Over here, you do have a front windshield defroster as well, without having to have the air on. Now, I really like it when companies do this, because sometimes it will be humid enough where it will be doing that, but you don't want to have the full heat blasting into your face. You have your volume controls here for volume. You can turn off the screen with this, and you get the same for the other side. Now, in the technology package, you get fully electric seats, both passenger and driver. Over here, coming into the shift knob, it's a very strange system that Toyota implemented. You have to press down, go into neutral, you turn it, it goes into drive, turn it the other way, it goes into reverse. Here you can see your cameras now, and here we have our systems. So we have a full 360 camera that you can see here. That is all the way around us and behind us. This is what those 2 cameras that you saw at the back were for. That is the 360 degree wide angle camera, which is for that exact reason. Putting this back into park is very simple as well. It's just this little button right here. And boom, the car is in park. Over here, you have the options for your drive modes. You click this, and you have over here what is happening on your screen. So click it once, you get eco, you get normal, power, and that's it. Over here you have your X modes, which is Subaru's versions of off-road modes. So you have snow dirt, deep snow mud, and maintenance required. You also have the option to turn off your traction control. Click here to see all your cameras that you can see around you in a full 360 degree view. This is very cool, actually. You can see all the way around your vehicle. And right here, this is for your cruise control, and this is for the driver-assisted cruise control. Now, over on this side, you have your automatic high beam control. This is to open your trunk. You have memory seating here in the technology package, up to 2 memory seats. Now, something I also wanted to mention, it does say on the EPA 60-ish kilometers of range maximum, but here I have 393 available at 93%. Meaning I should actually have around 420 kilometers of range in this new Subaru Solterra. Something I like to mention as well about the technology package, if you look here, you see those little dots there? Those are infrared sensors that are looking at your eyes. The reasoning for this is because the cruise control, you don't need to have your hands on the steering wheels like some other cars do. You just need to be looking forward, which is a very nice feature that I like about this car and Toyota's design and technology team. And let's get it over with as well with this wheel. It's very boxy compared to a lot of other cars. It is a very boxy wheel. Here you have a few controls. This one's just to go back on your main screen and see any issues going on with it. That's for calling. This is so you can control around and see what's going on in your infotainment screen. This is for your audio, this little switch here. This one's for any voice controls you want to go do, which this one has Google built in, by the way. Cruise control, you have here lane keeping assist. This is how you control your speed of your cruise control, your mode that you want it to be in. This is your distance from the car in front of you. I have no idea what these do. It skips track. This is for your modes as well, which appears to be controlling the radio mode. Now, let's take this new Subaru Solterra for a test drive. Here I'm just going to set it up for how I like my mirrors, It's electronic mirror controls, very simple to use. It's just a little knob, like a joystick that you use. Your mirror. And I like this manual steering wheel. I don't know why companies make it the electric that's super slow. I like my manual steering wheel. Telescopic and folding? Yeah. Now let's put this into drive here. I'm all set up. Let's take this for a drive. Off we go. So right off the bat, one of the main things I feel in this car is I am very, very tall compared to every other electric car I've driven, except for the electric trucks, which is kind of obvious. But compared to every other electric SUV, this one is very, very tall. Now I'm just turning right here. Take it for my little test drive area that I do here. Just from the start, it's a very smooth drive, and I like the fact that on my steering wheel here, I have these little controls, which controls my regenerative braking on this car. Where it would normally be paddle shifters for a gas car, I like that they're still including it to get that same feel of, you know, you're shifting. But in reality, you're just controlling how much regenerative braking the car is making back. Well, this car specifically doesn't have the craziest 0 to 60 miles an hour, 0 to about 100 kilometers an hour for us Canadians, is 6.1 seconds. Now, for an electric car, not the most impressive 0 to 60. But again, this is not a sports car or a car meant to go super duper fast. This is an off-roader oriented vehicle. So the symmetrical all-wheel drive system that you have in this vehicle works specifically to those needs. It is not a sports car. This is a off-road oriented vehicle. When you buy a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser, you're not like, oh, it's super duper slow, this is terrible. No, you take it on an off-road trail and you see what it can do. That is exactly what people should be doing with this all-new Subaru Solterra. Because otherwise, you can't judge it for not being fast. Because it's not meant to do that. Otherwise, this is a very comfortable car to drive. Now, I actually just had to put my phone down here because I did a little bit of an acceleration and my phone flew backward. So that happened. It still feels very quick even with just a 6.1 seconds 0 to 60. Again, it's not the fastest in the industry, it's not meant to do that, but it's still instant torque. You still feel the instant torque on this car, which it feels very, very powerful because it's all the wheels in this vehicle all at once giving you all of that power available like that. Let's see this. Going from 30 to 60. It's plenty. One of the big things I like about this car right now, there is no fake engine noises. Can you believe it? For the first time, there is no fake engine noises in this electric car. I hate car companies that put fake engine noises. Like Hyundai with the Ioniq 5N. Why? Nobody wants to shift gears in an electric car. It's the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. Please just never do that again. Nobody likes it. I don't know where they're getting the idea that people like it when they're shifting their electric car. Like, that's literally not what people like electric cars for. If people like shifting a car or driving a manual and having the revs, they're not going to buy an electric car. They're going to buy a manual fuel car. Like, I don't know what electric car companies are not understanding about this. Like, the enthusiast, the vehicle enthusiast is not going to buy an electric car. It's just, this is an openly known thing to everybody. My kind of conclusion on this car is that I don't know where the hate's coming from for the car. For what it's oriented towards, for off-road, camping, overlanding, like, sure, it won't do any rock crawling, but it does what you need to and what the average Joe will want to off-road with. He's just going up trails or sometimes going to a campsite. That's all you really want and need to do in the new Solterra. And if you get any rock chips or anything like that, these little corners will protect it, and it's cheap to replace if broken with these pieces. I don't know why people don't understand that this is not meant to be a competitor to something like the Tesla or like a Rivian or something like that. That is not its competition bracket. My total review of the car is I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, since the only cars that I ever give 10 out of 10s are my personal favorites, but I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Loved the car. It's comfortable, it's quick, it's tall, it's big, spacious. Great, amazing audio from Harman Kardon in this vehicle. Amazing audio. Great discounts. It's electric, so you don't need to pay for gas when off-roading either. I just don't see any downsides to this vehicle except maybe some lower range. But I can easily see this is Subaru's first entrance into the electric car market. So I see this as an amazing first step for Subaru.
Soundstripe.